Hello, this video is going to show you an overview of ZMF Rest Services. As the name implies, Rest Services gives you access to ZMF services using a REST API. We provide a web application that allows you to display and test the various REST APIs. A REST client is also provided, primarily focusing on bulk operations. You can also access the REST APIs from any other HTTP client. What do the APIs look like? Standard URLs. The host, port, and path components will be configured by your ZMF administrator. The API part is the specific REST API name that you want to call. Query represents the REST API parameters. They're specified as name, value pairs, and separated by an ampersand. For example, if you wanted to list package components that have been updated by user WSER27, that is the URL that you can see displayed to call that function. Authorization is required, and you must apply a basic authorization header. As I mentioned, we provide a REST client. It's packaged as restclient.jar. Its focus is bulk operations. There's a service that will download all package components to your local machine. There's also a service that will get a package component and all of its dependencies and download them to your local machine. Parameters are passed via the command line using name value pairs. There are some specific REST client parameters. REST host and REST function identify where the host is that we want to contact. All other parameters are specified. They are passed through to the REST API service. The parameters are formatted just like they would be if you were calling the REST API from anywhere else. There's an example of how you would call that REST client using the Java command. We also provide a web application that allows you to display the API names and to look at the parameters. There's a URL prototyping tool as well as a testing tool that actually lets you run the service. So let's take a look at that. This is my REST API display tool. All of the APIs are categorized, and you can drill down. Like if we wanted to look at component APIs, you can see them all listed here. Every item in the table displays the method you must use, the name of the API, which will be in the URL, along with the description of the service and a test button. We can drill down a little bit more and see the variables for this particular service. Required variables are noted by an asterisk before the variable name. If we really want to do something with this, we need to log on to ZMF first. So let's do that. So I've now signed on to ZMF. Let's look at those that change description service again. To drill down, let's test it. It filled in some variables from a previous run. We'll put in sort. We want to see what happened with this particular component. One thing you can do is you can show the URL. This is the URL prototyping. So you could actually just cut and paste this bit and plug it into your own client, and that's how you would call this particular service. I can also test it by just hitting the Test API button since I'm signed on. As you can see, I get a result set back, and this says the change of description was an update to the copyright. Back to my component list, I can actually browse that package component now using the component download service here. I'm going to do sort. I'm going to do PL1 because I want to see what this thing looks like now. As you can see, this brings this up in a little dialog box. Typically, this would be a download service, and it would be stored on your local machine. This testing tool, though, brings it up and displays it for you. That's the text of my component. I'm going to return. I'm going to log off. And I'm going to close this window. Thanks for watching.